Shh. I'm thinking. Is this a winning hand? Should I fold? Should I call? All I know is I have 5 black cards. Gotta be a winner, right? I mean, if you have all the same color. I mean, I have 3 of them the same suit, but I have 5 black cards. I'm guessing not a winner. All right. Damn it, I fold. Hey everybody, it's Glenn with GMP Travels, and we're doing Vegas. Welcome back, and I know all the other ones we've done so far have been cruises. This was actually our last vacation, and it was October 12th through the 16th of 2020, so yes, it was during COVID. That was our only trip. And we go to Cleveland every so often because our kids live up there, but I don't call that a trip. And we go up and stay maybe overnight. But an actual vacation where we flew somewhere. Vegas was fun. We had a good time. Obviously we were still in the most restrictive part of Vegas, except for the hotels actually were able to open and some of the restaurants. A lot of restaurants were not open. I think all but one buffet was all but one was closed. I'm trying to get that right. Excuse me. So the Vegas was a lot different than what we normally have when we've been out there. I've been out there several times. Almost every time we go out there, we go to shows and stuff like that. And I'm not a huge gambler. My wife is a bit more than I am. Our friends are a little bit more than I am, and we went out there and met up with our friends from Florida, Bud and Mary Lou, fantastic people. They're like family, and we love them dearly. So it was a great time just getting out there and visiting with them and seeing them, spending some time with them. Normally, we go on cruises with them. So anyways, Vegas... I'm going to try and run through this as quick as I can. I'm doing one video for this, so it might be a little longer than most of my other ones because there's a lot to talk about with Vegas, and I hope I don't miss anything. This is actually my second take on this one, actually my third, because one of them I did, for some reason I kept getting a buzzing every time I talked in the audio, so I had to redo it, and I left some stuff out. And again, I have my notes in front of me, so if I look down, I apologize, but I don't want to leave anything out because I think if you're trying to figure out what to do and you can go to Vegas, I think right now the restrictions are less out there. Don't quote me on there because I haven't checked it out. We have no plans to go back to Vegas in the near future, so I haven't looked to see what's open, what's not. I can only tell you what was going on in October, and in October there was no shows allowed, and I really think there's a lot of stuff that's not going to survive COVID-19, and Vegas is probably one of those towns that you may see stuff closed down for good. And somebody come in eventually and we'll open up in a hotel that's going to close down or a restaurant, as things always do, but it's still sad to see. So we flew out on Monday, the October the 12th of 2020. We flew Southwest. It was a direct flight to Vegas, and as you can see here, my wife and I wearing our mask on the plane. The get around on that is we bought some snacks, some good sized bags of snacks, and for the 4.5-5 hour flight, we would periodically eat snacks so we could pull the mask down because I can't take it. I have a hard enough time breathing, and if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I've talked about it before. I think I had COVID last year, coming off of a cruise in February. It was a few weeks before they shut everything down for COVID. So So I don't take it lightly, but I just breathing issues, and I apologize if I cough in this. So, anyways, we flew Southwest direct flight. It was super inexpensive, and we had points or travel dollars with Southwest because we've had two cruises now that got canceled, and we had or one cruise and a wedding. Uh, Both of those got canceled last year, so we had travel funds for both of those, and we used those on this flight, and we still had money left over from one of our flight travel funds we had from before. So it was super cheap, direct flight, loved it. When we got out there, our friends flew from Florida, and they arrived, I think, 15 or 20 minutes after us. We met up in baggage, and it was super convenient timing wise. They rented a van with points, and so it was $0 in travel while we were out there, and I'll tell you about when we're coming back, because they left that Friday the 16th early in the morning. We had a late afternoon flight. So anyways, can't do Vegas baby, can't do Vegas without a little drinky poo. Mm. Maybe that might help me from doing coffee. So anyways, the hotel we stayed at was the Aria, and that's spelled Aria. It's actually a very beautiful hotel. The rooms are beautiful. Our friends had a suite. He has mega points with Marriott. So this was I believe, a Marriott brand. It was called M Life. So maybe not Marriott, but anyways, they had points, and they got a suite, and the suite was amazing. Had two bathrooms, had a living room and a separate bedroom, and super sweet. Ours was a normal room, but it was absolutely beautiful. Everything's controlled from a tablet. You can control the lights, the curtains, the blackout shades, things like that and you could pay. You could check out with it. You can get room service with it, all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty cool, up to date. The only thing with the hotel, a couple things that bothered me when we first arrived, and one of which was they took a deposit that was more than our hotel stay. I think our hotel stay was a 125, and it was for 4 nights, so it was $500, five and some change. And they took a $600 deposit on top of charging me for the room, which I thought 150 nights astronomical. If you want to get people to spend money in the casino, don't ding them on crap like that. And if the Aria's watching, maybe you don't care. I'm thinking that, in tough times, you guys were shut down for a while. You're giving the money back, as long as the person in the room doesn't steal something or damage something or check out late. You're giving them their money back, and you're left without that $600 that, somebody maybe who couldn't afford the $600 deposit would want to spend that money in the hotel room. So think about that one. We checked in, beautiful hotel. I wasn't worried about the $600. I thought it was kind of crappy, but we checked in, got into our rooms, beautiful rooms, as I mentioned, and then we met down at the casino, or main floor where the casino was, and they had some food venues. One was had croissants and sandwiches and just different things on there. And nothing really appealed to us on that one. And then they had a burger joint at the back of the casino, towards where you go out towards the parking garage. And my wife and I don't eat a lot anymore, and especially when we're in a hotel room where we don't have a microwave to warm things up. We a lot of times will split a meal. And the burgers were pretty big, not huge. It's your typical bar-made burger, not a Wendy's burger. They're a little bit bigger, and it was really good. Loved it. The fries were crispy and hot, and we got a nice tea. We split that. That was $27. That was my only other thing that I didn't care about there, is that their food prices were extremely high. And Vegas used to not be like that. Vegas used to be, they would almost, like drinks, they would almost give away food to get you to come and stay there, or come to their casino and spend money in their casino. You may go to a buffet and then go back to your hotel if you weren't staying in the same place. But so yeah, that kind of drives me nuts. You're hurting and you're going to gouge people for food. So, and you may not consider gouging. You may go, well, $27 for a burger and iced tea and a fry is kind of standard out there. Yeah. Maybe I haven't been out there in a while, and so it's kind of a shock. I can afford it, but maybe other people can't, or maybe other people are on a very strict budget, and they want to gamble. They want to spend money in the casino for the hopes of winning, and kind of we're all like that if we go and gamble. So, here's a picture of the area from the outside. And I don't remember, I'd have to go back to the pictures if I got anything from the inside. If I didn't, then we'll go on. But so the Rio is a beautiful hotel. And other than that, I have nothing else bad to say about it. We enjoyed our stay there. So we had a burger, fries, and a drink. And then we went and spent a little money in the casino and, didn't win anything. And then we went back to the room and we met up with our friends for dinner. And we went to, so the Aria is right across the street from a place called the Miracle Mile. And there's a walkway bridge that goes from the casino or the hotel across Las Vegas Boulevard. And if I have a picture of that, I'll put that here. I think I do. And we went to Bubba Gump's, easy walk over. And Bubba Gump's was good. I always like Bubba Gump's. The normally not COVID-19 era, they have a good sized menu. And there's one thing I love on there, and that's the bucket of trash. And that's just a freaking bucket of heart attack, of fried yummy goodness that, it crispy, fried, tasty. You can't go wrong. And I think they have lobster in there, and they have shrimp and hush puppies and all kinds of different things in there, and French fries, and it's just so good. And they did not have that. They had a very scaled down menu because of COVID, and I believe I got shrimp and French fries, and that was really good. I enjoyed that. My wife, I think, got some kind of clam chowder, and she really didn't care for it. And I'm one of these people that used to live in Massachusetts, and we know chowder. Up there you can get the best chowder, best seafood, stuff like that. So I usually don't do chowder someplace like Vegas, unless you're in a high-end restaurant where they're making really, really good clam chowder. But anyway, so we did Bubba Gump's. Here's a picture of us with our friends after we ate and loved it. I think we went back to the hotel, maybe gambled for a little bit, and then hit the sack because traveling does wear on you. And I went back, watched a little TV, I maybe read a little bit, went to bed. The next morning, and every morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, we went to Denny's for breakfast. And there's one right across the street from the hotel, but typically things that are on the strip are more expensive because of the real estate they're in. So we went, our friend got his van every morning, picked us up out in front of the Aria, and then went, and it was across the highway, off the strip, and it was attached to or part of a motel, real small casino kind of thing. I don't want to say skeevy. It was clean and neat, but it was just more of a, 30 years ago look. And but the Denny's was fine. The food was great. The staff was great. The service, couldn't ask for better service. Coffee was good. And I think we all got the Grand Slam breakfast every morning, if that rings a bell. We got eggs, bacon, sausage, toast, coffee. Everything was kind of included in that breakfast. So, and it's not being cheap. We don't normally eat breakfast at home, and so the only time we eat breakfast a lot of times is when we're either out or we're on a cruise ship, or sometimes on the weekends, on maybe Saturday or Sunday morning, I might make eggs and bacon and stuff for my wife and I. But most of the time we don't do breakfast. We do lunch sometimes, and for me, my main meal is dinner every day. So lunch I do, probably 50-50 when we're at home. But when we're out, I think when we were in Vegas, we didn't do lunch, but that one day, the first day we were there, I think we always had breakfast, did something else, maybe an afternoon snack of nachos by the pool one day, and I'll explain that. But so we did Denny's on that Tuesday for breakfast, and I believe that was the morning we went from there and went out to Red Rock Canyon National Park. And there's one of those in Utah too, Red Rock, so don't confuse the two, but absolutely beautiful, the rocks and the mountain range out. And it's only like 20 minutes from downtown Vegas. And we drove through the whole thing. We made several stops, did some video footage. So I'm going to run some pictures here with a little music. I'm going to run a little bit of video and a little aerial drone footage, and enjoy. Pretty cool. I love it. I'll go back there. If you end up in Vegas and you got wheels, go see it. It's worth it. And I've been to the Hoover Dam before, and I know now they have a bridge where kind of bypass traffic and go by it, so it's not big traffic jams. Excuse me. Vegas, baby. Anyways, yeah. Can't do a Vegas show with coffee. As most of you know, if you've seen some other videos, I usually have a cup of coffee when I'm doing that. That's probably what gives me the heartburn. It's coffee. I usually don't do coffee in the afternoons. First thing in the morning, and usually that's it. And I've been drinking coffee a little bit more lately, maybe because it's freaking freezing outside, and it warms you up. So, anyways, Red Rock Canyon, fantastic, as you saw, loved it. We went from there, we headed back to Vegas. It was probably mid-afternoon, and we stopped at a liquor store, picked up a couple of bottles of booze for the hotel room. And again, not being cheap, we just like to have something in the room, when we're up there getting ready to go out, or maybe just sitting, and we're up on the 30th floor, so you're overlooking a lot of Vegas, and it's nice to just sit there and have a drink while you're, not necessarily people watching, but Vegas watching from the 30th floor. It's pretty cool. So we did that. We bought some snacks and stuff, and brought some snacks back to the hotel room. So in the evening when we're sitting there watching TV or something, we have something to nibble on it if we want. And whatever I think had some snacks left, we brought back and took on the plane with us for our ride home on Friday. So I believe that was the evening we went to Maggiano's. And Maggiano's is an Italian restaurant, and it was about halfway between the Aria and the old downtown part of Vegas, where Fremont Street's at. And Maggiano's is kind of up on the upper level of like a little strip mall kind of thing. It's got a parking garage behind it. It's pretty nice. It's a nice little mall area that you can go through, great indoor parking, and Maggiano's had a very nice ambiance, lower lighting, nice white tablecloths, wood and glass decor, absolutely beautiful. And the food was fantastic. Food and service, without a doubt, was one of the best things we had in Vegas. The entire stay there, and the price wasn't bad. And I don't know if it's because Maggiano's is a chain, but the prices were better than we would have expected somewhere else. And I can't remember. It might have been who's that guy that cusses a lot on the food? Food used to be on. Oh my gosh, his name will come to me, and I'll put it under here. He has a place there, and that was I think like $80 just for everything's a la carte, I think, and that was like $80 just for a steak. And I'm guessing, if you're into that, it's normal, or a once in a while treat. That's awesome. I would rather spend the money somewhere else. It's just me. So we enjoyed Maggiano's and went back to the hotel, did some gambling, and then went to bed. And the next day, again, Denny's in the morning, Grand Slam breakfast. Can't say anything bad about it. It was just fantastic. And everybody's thinking Denny's $6.99. That's, if you're on a budget again, amazing. You've got to do it. So we did Denny's. We went back to the hotel. I think we gambled for a little bit. Again, no major wins, and my wife was actually kind of going down at that point. But we went out by the pool, and it was the only day we went to the pool, and the pool was but they had one of the pools closed. There's 3 pools. One of those is for the not suite guests, but it was a certain class of suite guests in the hotel, and it was only inclusive to those. The other general pool was closed, and it was because of COVID-19, and I'm guessing it was probably more that they didn't have the staff to cover two separate pools. The occupancy, I think, when we were out there was like 20%. I think it goes up a little bit on Fridays and Saturdays, up like 30 or 40%, but I think the occupancy was about 20% in that hotel, which is really bad. It's rough to sustain that and sustain the staffing, because that's typically your biggest cost is labor. And so the hot tubs were closed because of COVID. Big petri dish, I guess. I don't know. The one thing I thought was really, really ridiculous is you're sitting 20 feet from anybody else, laying in a lounge chair, sunbathing, you got to wear a mask. Makes no sense. And that's where I think you have politicians involved in making these rules and decisions. And, so the casinos, they're just following the rules so they can stay open. And they can have their pools open, and they can give their guests the best, stay possible. But good grief. I mean, no thought process to that at all. And I don't care what you think about COVID. If you think I think I had it back in February. I think I mentioned that earlier. If I didn't, if I did, I apologize. But so I don't take it lightly. But I think the mask rule is insane. I believe in herd immunity. Peel off the mask. Let's get this over with. Let's move on. Let's build some immunity in our systems for this type of virus. And I think wearing the mask is like peeling that Band-Aid off real slow. It's just going to take forever to get through it. And at this rate, we may not, even with a vaccine. So, who knows? Anyways, wearing a mask while you're sunbathing, ridiculous. There was nobody around people. And you can sit out there, and we did, without a mask on or mask down, as long as you're actively eating or drinking. So the crew around the pool were really good about handing you bottles of water, making sure you had something to drink so you could take your mask off, because it's hot, and sitting there with the mask on all the time, especially if you're not around anybody. Now, here's the goofy part: is you can walk to the pool without the mask on, and you can be in the pool with a bunch of other people without the mask on, and that's okay. So you figure that one out. But that was the reason we only went the one day. And we ordered some snacks. It was kind of our lunch. I think it was nachos, and they were really good. The uh, drink we got, my wife got a single drink. I got a double because I figured I would order two, and it was a lot cheaper to get a double than to get a single. In retrospect, so very good drinks. A lot of sugar, a lot of sweetness. That's why normally, I prefer like a Jameson or something where I'm sipping on that, enjoying it, and not drink all the sugar. And it's not that I don't like. I love sweet stuff. Absolutely love sweet stuff, and I love Grand Marnier. Sipping on those, they're sweet, but just trying to cut back on the sugar intake. So, anyways, so that's enough of the pool. And we went that evening. We went to Fremont Street, and so we got back in the van. Our friend picked us up out front, and he was so good about that. Walking to get the van to the parking garage and then coming around picking us up. And so we went down to Fremont Street, parked, and our plan was we were there in the evening, and our plan was to enjoy Fremont Street and the lighting and find something to eat down there. And we ended up not finding anything to eat because again a lot of stuff was closed. Buffets were closed. They had very limited hours on dinner, and we either missed them, which we were down there literally about 5 or 6 o'clock, which was kind of crazy. But so we walked through there. We watched some of the shows. People watched, a lot of crazy people, a lot of normal people. They do have a zip lining thing now, which they didn't years ago either. That goes from one end of the the LED canopy, all the way down to the other end. And it's kind of neat. If I go back to Fremont Street at some point, I may look into that and see how much it is, and if it's worth doing. It's probably a 30-second zip line, and so I might check it out again if we go back. And I'm sure at some point we will. It just depends on COVID-19 and what the restrictions are. So, but Fremont Street, I took some pictures. So here's a few pictures. And I'll throw in a couple of videos of the lighting overhead.
Time flies by, seconds disappear when you're here. It's not fair, why'd you have to go? Don't need joy and love, your love, your smile.
Pretty cool. Again, it's worth going down. We enjoyed it. It would have been nice to eat something down there. They have that's the old Vegas that you saw from movies like Elvis movies and stuff like that. Old part of it with Golden Nugget and stuff. So it's kind of neat, and I'm kind of glad they've preserved that part of town because everything else, as you go out and up the boulevard, changes over the years. They keep tearing stuff down after 20 years and building something newer and bigger, and which is cool too, but I'm glad they preserved that part of Fremont Street. So it's neat. Again, I would go back there, maybe under different circumstances. COVID's not around, and trying to get in some of those buffets, and they're probably cheap steaks and not the best, but it's just kind of cool doing that. And last time I was down there on Fremont Street, they didn't have the LEDs over top, so that can tell you how long ago I was down there. So I'm going to talk about, I'll talk about the buffets real quick since I'm talking about that. The only buffet that we know that was open was in the Cosmopolitan, which was right next to the area. And the Cosmopolitan was very nice. Again, my wife and I went through there, and we checked out some menu prices. Their prices for breakfast and stuff like that were actually much better than the area. The area, you get a decent breakfast, it costs you $100. Where in there it looked like maybe two people, $30 for breakfast. Again, we did Denny's for $6.99. I'd rather play the machines. I don't do cards because, as you can see, I don't know how to play. I do. I mean, I know how to play rummy. I don't think they have those out there. I do know how to play blackjack, but not well enough where I feel comfortable sitting down. Because I would be that one guy that would screw everybody else up. And my son plays blackjack, and he always tells me, you got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you piss people off. And I would be good at that. Pissing people off, probably not playing blackjack. But so he plays Texas Hold'em and all that stuff. And I don't. I just play the machines. And I don't play the machines to win. And I know that sounds weird, because you're gambling, you're gambling money. And the whole object, I think, when you're gambling is to win money, or the hope is. And obviously I hope I win money when I'm playing, but I like playing games that I enjoy, that are fun. If I'm having fun, I tend to be luckier. You're hitting some of the bonus games and some cool things going on, things bouncing around, and it'll make you laugh, and we used to play the Family Guy. That was at the Hollywood Casino in Columbus, and we would win on that quite often. And then they moved it over to a different area, and they must have tightened up the odds on it, because it just we wouldn't win. You'd go through your money, and then they got rid of them completely, which kind of sucked. Every time we found something we really liked, within a couple months it was gone. So I like to gamble because I enjoy gambling. And so the casinos, well, I'll go back to the buffets. Buffets closed. Cosmopolitan is the one that had I think the only open buffet in Vegas that I could find on the internet. And it was $40, I believe, and you had a two-hour limit in the buffet, which normally would be enough time. But my concern was, and again, I'm not a huge eater, so at times I might be, but I like to be able to go up, see what I want, pick what I want, and go back to the table. Where here is they've got a sheet of what's available. You pick out what you want, and then they have the waiter go get it for you, put it on a plate, and bring it back. And I'm guessing if it's really busy and you're done with what you have or want more, it may not happen, or it may happen very slow. We didn't take a chance. We decided that wasn't worth it. So as far as buffet is concerned, to me that's a draw. Huge draw for me to Vegas and on cruising is the buffets. Love the food. And that's my problem. I love food too much. The casino, we played again in the Cosmopolitan, I think $20 or $30. We didn't play much in there, and the machines we were on were cold, and there weren't a lot of people in there. Same thing with playing at Hollywood. We went through there. I played $20 or $30 again when we were over there one day, and it was cold. So I just if for me, if something doesn't hit within $10, $20, I'm walking away. I just won't do that. Most of our gambling was in the area, and I gamble a lot different than my wife. My wife, she'll play 88 cent bet or $1.76, where I'm playing 18 cents. And I did that through the week, and I think at one point I was down $100, and the last day I got on Thursday I got $100 from the ATM, and here's another thing: ATMs, I don't know why they charge you so much, but I think in the area it was $7 for an ATM transaction. And if you want people to take money out, charging them $7. The one over, I think at Planet Hollywood, was $9, and one of them, I think in the Cosmopolitan, might have been $10 to take money out. And then obviously it's not your bank account, but I mean, good grief, who's making the $7, $8, $9, $10? per transaction. Somebody's getting rich off of you spending money in the casino other than the casino. And maybe the casino gets a cut. Don't know. So to me, that's goofy. But so anyways, the last day, and this is about the casinos, last day we were there, we played a little bit in the morning, and we played again in the afternoon or evening and after dinner. And we my wife was losing, and I ended up giving her money to play because I kept winning at that point. And so I was giving her, $20 here and there, I can't remember, maybe more. And I kept playing, and I was playing 18 cents, and I'd hit $30 on an 18-cent bet. And I just kept going up. And finally, it got cold. And I was over $100. I was at 150 or something like that. And it was going cold, and I was down to about 120 in the machine. I finally cashed out, and I took it over to, and that game it's one of my wife's favorite, was Dancing Drums. And they have two different games. They have a normal one, and they have a huge one. The big one, the minimum bet's 88 cents. On the ones we were playing, the normal one, minimum bet was 8 cents up to $8.80. Like I said, I was playing 18 cents. And you got to play 18 cents to get a certain level of bonuses. So, machine went cold. We went over this other game. It's called a baby game. That's what my wife calls it. It has two Asian babies, a girl and a boy, and you kind of tickle them and they go hee hee hee. It's kind of cute, but it's a fun game too. And I'm sitting there playing 38 cents, minimum bet. My wife was watching me at this point because she was done gambling. She was waiting for one machine to open up. She had a little money left. She wanted to go play it. It's the bigger Dancing Drum game. And she sounded like somebody was winning on it, so she walked away. When she walked away, I hit a bonus game. And it's where these coins come down, and they kind of hang there. And you pick until you have three matching things. So they have a mini, minor, major, and a grand. And the minis probably usually about between 10 and $20, and the grand was, I think, around 13,000. And so I'm picking, and almost every time you get the mini. Very rarely do you get even the minor. Almost every time the mini. I got the major. Okay, the major was $985, and here's a picture of that. And then with what I had won up to that point, I cashed out at $1,100 or something like that. But that $985 pretty much paid for my hotel room and what I spent through the week on food and other expenses. So it was exciting. Our friends, it was about 7:00 in the evening. Our friend, almost exactly the same time, he won $1,500, and he was all the way at the other end of the casino. Of course, he texted me a picture, and then I texted him a picture of mine back, my win. But so it was exciting. It was great last night there. It seems like when you do win, it's usually like that, or that's when you go through the rest of your money and you're done. But so one of the other places we went to was called the Miracle Mile, and it's right across the street from the area, and it's, I'm guessing, a mile long from one entrance all the way around to the other entrance to that. And they have stores in there, your Nike shops, shoes, places like that. And they have bars, places to eat. We went over there one afternoon. It might have been that Thursday afternoon. We went over there and walked around, and they had, either then or before we went to Fremont Street on Wednesday, again, I can't remember, but not a big deal. The Miracle Mile, again, all these shops, there's this place called Flights in there, and we were in there in the afternoon walking around at the perfect time because we hit it right when happy hour started at Flights. And you get flights, if you know flights, shop flights, things like that. It was also an aeronautical theme in there as well, airplanes and stuff. So, but flights were like ours, and you can see a picture here of us and our friends with our drinks, and they were so good. Oh my gosh, I had Manhattans that were fantastic, and they were strong. My wife had margaritas. She had 3 of them, and they were so strong. Everybody, when we left there, was giggly and happy, and it was a great time. We also got a couple of appetizers, one of which was fries that were 3 different flavor fries, and they were nice, hot, crispy. Love that. One of them was I believe a truffle parmesan garlic kind of thing, and they had like a aioli a dipping sauce. Oh my gosh, was that good? I would do that again in a heartbeat. Next time we go to Vegas, I want to make sure I go there during happy hour, get the flight of drinks and their snacks, their fries. So the last day, our friends left early, as I was mentioning. So we didn't do Denny's, but my wife and I did. We got up a little bit later because they had ours was late afternoon. Got up a little bit later. We got our stuff packed up and checked out, and we stored our bags at the hotel. And went back to the Miracle Mile and went. There was two places in there that had breakfast advertised. One was $5.99, one was $4.99. The $5.99 one had a huge line, so we decided to go down to this place called La Salsa. And here's a couple. I'm gonna run a couple pictures here as I'm talking. I'm going to show you some of the pictures with our friends as well when we were there the day before outside La Salsa. But we went in, we had breakfast. My wife and I had breakfast in there, and it was really good. It was $4.99. I think we got an upgraded breakfast for $6.99, but we also had Bailey's and coffee. Oh my gosh, that was so good. But they had a Mexican style potatoes, had peppers and onions and stuff in there, and your typical eggs and bacon and stuff like that, and toast. Well worth it. Again, if you're on a budget, look around, find places like this because they exist. And the food's good. And the drink prices are good if you're doing that. I think the flights we did that evening before were $10 for the three. And they're not big. They're small, but they're potent. They're definitely well worth the $10. So I don't remember what the fries were cost, but so anyways, that's our experience in Vegas. And we did an Uber since our friends had left already that morning and they turned in their van. We did an Uber instead of a taxi. The Uber was the driver. She was great. She was prompt, clean car, and I tipped her extra. But she was $10 cheaper than the taxi cost to get to the airport from the area. And I mean, literally, it's not even a 10-minute drive. And I think the taxi was like $30 or $28, where she was 19 or 20, and for Uber. So that's the way to go if you're getting around Vegas. Probably Uber ride if you don't have your own vehicle. I don't know if you can go out to Red Rock in an Uber, but it would be an interesting question for an Uber driver next time you're in Vegas. Anyways, questions, ask below. I'm going to run another drone or aerial footage of Vegas at the end here. Questions down in the comment box. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I don't know what I'm doing next, but I'm sure you want to be notified. So again, questions or when you have something to add, please share in the comment section, and we'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great day.